Brian Fisher on AFR Talk. Listen to the audio podcast or download today's program at afr.net. You can also read Brian Fisher's columns at onenewsnow.com. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to email us anytime at focalpoint@afr.net. focalpoint@afr.net.
Hi, and welcome back to Focal Point, AFR Talk. Brian Fisher is my name. The program is Focal Point. Glad to be back in the saddle after battling the flu bug for several days. Now, I've got some stuff I want to get to in the second hour, and that have to do with kind of values issues, this spat between the two Cheney sisters on gay marriage. I think that's very, very important. I want to spend a segment kind of on that issue. But I want to talk a little bit about Obamacare and what happened last Thursday and Friday. I was gone when all of that happened. Emily, let's grab clip number 2, if we can, have that one ready to go. Now, what happened on Thursday, as you remember, is that President Obama gave a speech. And in this speech, he said, essentially what he said is, look, I know my law makes this impossible. My law makes this illegal. But I promised you that if you like your insurance, you can keep it. So I am going to issue an imperial edict that if that's what you want to do, you can do it. You know, President Obama spent the entire last 3 years saying the policies that you have right now are junk. They're substandard. These are policies that are being hawked to you by these bad apple insurance companies who are giving you an inferior product and fleecing your pockets. But what he said Thursday is, hey, if you're stupid enough, if you're dumb enough to like that substandard junk policy from that bad apple insurer that you've got, then I, in my magnificence, Barack the Benevolent, I'm going to wave my magic wand, and I am simply going to issue an unlawful, unconstitutional, illegal decree that you can keep it. You can keep your insurance policy no matter what my law says. Now, here's the problem. And very few people have picked up on this. I mean, this was really not the debate. But the reality is that President Obama had no constitutional authority to do that. He does not have the authority to make up law on the fly or to amend the law according to his own whims. We've read from the Constitution before, all legislative power is invested in Congress. Let me find that because I want to repeat that to you, because this is what is so heinous about what President Obama has done here. Listen to this. This is Article 1, Section 1. This is like the second paragraph in the Constitution. So certainly at some point, President Obama had to have read this far into the Constitution. He had to have read this somewhere along the way. Article 1, Section 1, all legislative powers herein granted shall be vested in a Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate and House of Representatives. I ask you the question. Where are legislative powers granted by the Constitution? Well, in the Senate and the House of Representatives. How many legislative powers are vested in the Congress? All of them. All legislative powers are vested in a Congress of the United States. So how many legislative powers does President Obama have? 0. Zip, nada, zilch. How many legislative powers does the Department of Education have? 0, zip, nada, zilch. How many legislative powers does the Department of Energy have? 0, zip, nada, zilch. How many legislative powers does the Environmental Protection Agency have? 0, zip, nada, zilch. None. All legislative power is vested in Congress. Now, here is clip number 2. Clip number 2, this is Nancy Cordes of CBS News talking to Representative Nick Rahall. He's a Democrat from West Virginia, and this question comes up about Obama's speech last Thursday. Let's listen.
1/5 of House Democrats ignored a White House veto and joined House Republicans to pass a bill that would not just reinstate the plans, but allow new people to sign up for them. West Virginia's Nick Rahal was one of those Democrats. Did you vote yes because you think that the president didn't go far enough?
I voted yes. Perhaps that was part of the reason, but the main reason was I'm not sure he had the legal underpinning to do what he did.
So finally, there's at least one Democrat out there, and Howard Dean said the same thing. Look, I don't think what the president did is even remotely legal. He has no authority. He has no warrant to simply change laws that he does not like. But realize now, President Obama has been doing this sort of consistently from the very beginning. If he just doesn't like a bill for whatever reason or not, he just ignores the parts of it that he doesn't like and just simply chooses not to enforce the parts that he doesn't want to have anything to do with. Now, it's interesting to me that the healthcare itself, I've got a piece here, National Review, Andrew Stiles. I've got another piece by Andy McCarthy. I'm going to try to dig that out, where they argue that if Obamacare, if President Obama was in private business and he put up a website like healthcare.gov in private industry, he would go to jail for fraud. That this is fraud to a spectacular degree because promises are being made here that cannot be kept. These are false promises. They are fraudulent promises. And if you did this in private industry, I mean, this would be a classic case of bait and switch. You like your insurance, you can keep it. Come on into the parlor, said the spider to the fly. You get in there and you find out that you cannot get out. You can't, in fact, keep the insurance that you want. So they're making the point that, look, if we lived in a just world, a world of laws instead of a world of men, President Obama would be prosecuted for a serious case of fraud. You know, and Dave Camp has made the point that there have been 185 cancellations for everybody that's signed up for Obamacare. In other words, people are losing their insurance hand over fist. For every person that gets insurance, this is the point. This is House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Dave Camp. Every single person who has gotten, for every single person who has gotten insurance under Obamacare, 185 people have lost it. Now, there's a list here. I'm looking at a piece by Byron York, 27 Democratic senators who promised you could keep your health coverage. 27 of them, senators, Democrats. And he's got the quotes, including some folks that are up for re-election, like Mark Begich from Alaska, Kay Hagan from North Carolina, Mary Landrieu of Louisiana, all of them saying virtually in these words, if you like your insurance, you can keep it. They're on record. They've said this. They have written it. They have spoken it. And in Byron York's piece, he cites where you can go and hear them or read them or see them say this to the American people. If you like your insurance, you can keep it. If you like your doctor, you can keep it. And now we are discovering that that is hardly the case. I want to drop down, if I can, Emily, to clip number, well, let's go down to clip 8. Let's grab clip 8, the Bowie State clip. Remember, President Obama said, look, this is for the little guy. We want everybody to have insurance. We want the poor to have insurance. We want to make sure that everybody. So here is Bowie State. Bowie State is a black university. So these are the poster children of the people that President Obama said, I'm out to help. I'm out to do this for the little guy. Here's the little guy. And it turns out that because of Obamacare, what Bowie State is going to have to charge their students for insurance is now $3,000 a year. They could get it for several $100s a year right now. Not anymore. Because of Obama, it's going to be $3,000 a year. Now remember, these are the people that voted for Barack Obama like 96-4. So somebody from Campus Reform went to the Bowie State campus and asked these black students, how do you feel about the fact that your insurance rates have gone from a few $100s a year to $3,000 a year? Here's what they said.
It's Obama's fault. You haven't done anything, Obama, and I'm disappointed in you.
So what are you going to do for health insurance now?
Not get sick.
What are you going to do for health insurance now?
I think I'm going to go to Obamacare.
Obamacare is expected to cost about $3,000 a year. Do you think you can afford that?
I can't afford anything right now. I can't even afford my loans.
We don't have that money. We can barely afford books.
I guess I'm going to have to put in some overtime at work, so people are lucky just to pay Sally Mae, to be quite honest with you.
Can't afford $3,000 a year?
Afford it now.
Yeah. Asking, what do you plan to do now for health insurance?
I don't know.
He said he's for his people, but actually he's not. He's actually putting money in the white people's pocket instead of putting money in helping the black people out.
So these are people, some of them admitted they voted for Obama twice. And now they're saying he's done nothing for me. All that I'm seeing is my cost of health care is going through the roof. It's going to the place that I can't afford it. So I'm going to be stuck with Barack Obama assessing me a fine for not buying insurance that I cannot afford. And I couldn't even buy if I wanted to because the website is so messed up. Well, if you want to join the conversation, 888-589-8840, 888-589-8840. Let's grab clip number 3 if we can, Emily. This is James Clyburn. He is a senator from South Carolina. And the interesting thing about this little clip, it's just about 15, 16 seconds long. But what James Clyburn exposes here in a moment of honesty that this was about a fundamental transformation of the United States. Let's listen, James Clyburn on Obamacare.
The fact of the matter is, this is a rollout problem. This is not a values problem. And I think that if we were to look at what we were attempting to do with the Affordable Health Care Act, you will know that what we're trying to do is change a value system in our country.
So Clyburn is honest. Look, what we are out to do is we are out to change the value system in our country. Well, in what direction? Obviously, in the direction of socialism. I'm looking at a piece here by Todd Purdom on Politico, which leans pretty far to the left. And he said, look, what Obamacare is doing is threatening liberalism because this is a spectacular failure. This is socialism writ large, and this is going to be an epic meltdown. It's Chernobyl style. It's the Hindenburg. It's the Hiroshima of healthcare. And his point is one that I made last week. Look, if the United States cannot make socialism work, the richest, greatest, most powerful, most prosperous nation in the world, if America can't make socialism work, it cannot work. It's dead.